Audi has been on a spree to launch its SUVs in India as a part of its larger growth plan. It's been bringing a range of them over the last 12 months, and we are here with another one today. Well, if you've guessed it right, it's brought back one of its most storied and well-known nameplates. We are talking about the all-new Audi Q3 that's finally come to India 4 years after its global unveil. It's been launched in India, and today we will drive it and examine it up close and tell you if it's worth taking the fight to the Mercedes-Benz GLA, Volvo XC40 and the BMW X1.
I just want a beach house. Let's go check it out. Cool. It's red. Awesome. Radical.
Launched in August 2022, this new Audi Q3 is available in two variants, Premium Plus in technology and across 5 color options. The Premium Plus variant at the time of making this video was priced at Rs 44.89 lakh, while the higher spec technology variant, which is what we are driving today in the video, is priced at Rs 50.39 lakh ex-showroom Delhi. Now, if there's one company that's pioneered the concept of family appearance, that's got to be Audi. Actually, strike that out. The company that invented the family appearance is Audi, right? When you look at this car, you see elements of the Q7, elements of the Q8, elements of even the e-tron vehicles, and that's a very good thing because they're all nice looking SUVs with good presence. Now up front, you get this large single frame grille with the large Audi logo in the middle, the vertical louvers and these full LED headlamps with this really intricate tri-pattern built into them for the DRLs. You also get chrome elements down here as well as on the edge of the bumper. One look at the Audi Q3 in profile and you can see the latest Q design language of combining the SUV stance with the crossover design. Highlights here include this large chrome bezel around the glass area, body colored mirrors with this little black cladding at the bottom, these nice looking swirl pattern 18-inch alloy wheels which can actually be had as 19s or 20s in global markets. Now when you look at this, you'll notice that one element is missing, which is usually common with SUVs, and that's a kind of contrast colored cladding at the bottom. Audi has decided to go with a body color appearance. Now, and while that does remove from some of the SUV look of the vehicle, it does give the car a really smooth finish. Q3 also gets a really strong shoulder line which expands as you go to the back, giving the car a kind of hunkered down stance. At the rear, you get quite a few elements to catch your attention on this new Audi Q3. Highlights here include this chunky line here with the Audi logo, this chunky bumper with a contrast colored element, and these rather intricate looking wraparound tail lamps with a pattern very similar to what is offered on the headlamps. The glass house slopes ever so slightly forward and you get a nice looking rear spoiler with a large high mounted stop lamp. In all, the Audi Q3's appearance is something that's definitely going to catch your attention. Now, this car over its predecessor has grown by 100 mm and is now the largest car in the segment. We're here in the first row of this second generation Audi Q3 and it's actually a pretty decent place to be in. You get a decent amount of shoulder room and headroom and knee room, and that's despite having a panoramic sunroof. The highlight of course of the front are these two digital displays. This is a 10.1 inch unit running Audi's latest MMI touch system. The system is actually really easy to use with high quality graphics and easy paths to everything, and of course if you connect your phone you will get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Oddly enough, it's got a wireless charger but no wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. One of the things that me as someone that's seen cars grow over the last decade or so is the existence of physical buttons. Audi and a whole bunch of other companies had been moving to haptic touch surfaces, but it's a good thing that they've retained the buttons here. It allows you to develop muscle memory and focus more time on the road. The other thing that we liked is of course Audi's virtual cockpit. The virtual cockpit was introduced in India with the Q7 when it came out in the new generation in either 2016 or 2017. It's a really nice system to use with colorful graphics and easy paths to get to everything, and provides you with a variety of information. One of the things that we didn't like here is some of the quality of the plastics used, which we felt are at least 1 or 2 segments down. That's kind of visible here on the dashboard, on the doors, and as well as on the glove box door. We're here in the second row of this new Audi Q3, and like the first row, it's a pretty decent space to be in. You get a good amount of knee room and headroom, but shoulder room is not all that great. You can seat 2 people in great comfort, and a third one if they're willing to compromise because of the high transmission tunnel and these AC vents protruding out. You do get adjustable headrests for all 3 rows, as well as 3-point seat belts for all of them. Features here include this net-like storage space at the back, 1-liter bottle holders in both the doors, and this little cubby space that you get beside the seat. Now, we in automotive terms consider this a no man's land, because if you drop something there or you need to use that space, you actually need to stop the car and open the door. But with that space, with that cubby hole, that space actually becomes useful. Now again, like the first row, we feel that some of the quality of the plastics used here, especially in the lower kind of non-contact surfaces, isn't all that great and feels at least 2 segments down. And this is something that we think Audi can really work on when they update the car next. On the features front, this top spec model gets dual zone climate control with rear AC vents, leather upholstery, panoramic sunroof, power front seats, adjustable rear seats, ambient lighting, virtual cockpit, digital instrument cluster, Audi sound system, wireless charger, a button operated tailgate, and touchscreen infotainment system with 10.1-inch display running the Audi MMI Touch OS. We have detailed the infotainment system and virtual cockpit in our interior section. Both versions of the car get 6 airbags, auto parking technology, ABS with EBD, hill assist technology, traction control, and a stability program. Missing from this list is ADAS, 360-degree camera, and a tire pressure monitoring system, both of which the Volvo XC40 has had right from the beginning. The Audi Q3 in this latest guise gets a 2-liter turbo petrol. This is actually a common engine in quite a few of the other Audi models, including some of the Qs. This engine produces 188 bhp and 320 Nm of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and you get Audi's legendary Quattro all-wheel drive system. In fact, the Q3 is the only car in this segment to get all-wheel drive as standard. You get it in 2 variants, of course, Technology and Premium Plus. Both have the same engine, gearbox, and all-wheel drive setup. Now, as a car to drive, the Audi Q3 excels in the ride quality department. It's rides pretty much flat when you go over bumps at high speed. Go into the pothole, the car goes through and settles quickly. It rarely sends anything back into the cabin, rarely displaces the occupants unless you do something really foolish or push the car way too hard. Now, in terms of steering feel, this much like the rest of the Audi range, the steering feels a bit overly assisted, which is not a bad thing as it makes the car extremely easy to drive, but doesn't give you enough feel in the turns. This is actually quite a potent combination if you need to drive fast on the highway and rack up the kilometers quickly. Now, in terms of tractability, the 2-liter petrol engine is great for both city and highway conditions with quite a bit of tap just on the throttle. You get a selection of driving modes that alters the way the steering responds and the throttle responds. The most exciting one being dynamic, which is what you would put the car into via this button on the center console when you're driving enthusiastically. For city conditions and low speed, you have the eco mode that kind of really dulls the throttle, and when you're going fast you can actually feel the difference both in the weight of the steering and on the throttle. Now, these are just some initial impressions that we have of the Q3 in the short time that we have spent with it in terms of dynamic driving experience. We will of course get the car to the CarWale garage and put it through its paces through the CarWale testing process and give you real world details like ride quality, fuel efficiency figures, 0 to 100 acceleration times as well as braking times. Now we've spent a whole day with the Audi Q3 and here's what we found. On the positive side, there's a great amount of space inside. It's actually now the largest car in the segment with the biggest boot. The 2-liter petrol engine is great fun to drive with a great amount of tractability. It rides beautifully, taking everything in its path with aplomb, rarely sending anything back into the cabin or even displacing the occupants. And of course, you get all-wheel drive, which if nothing else is bragging rights in the segment. On the downside, we didn't like some of the quality of plastics used in the cabin and it's missing some crucial features like a 360-degree camera, tire pressure monitoring system and advanced driver assistance systems. What do you think of the Audi Q3? Do leave your thoughts in the comment section below.